Oh, what's it doing? Oh, it is gone live. Okay, Twitter.
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform
Or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Right, Chris.
Hello. Yes, I know what you're expecting, Chris, aren't you? We need to fix that intro. I tell him all this time. God, he puts me in charge and he can't even change the name. But never fear, we are here for another show. This is the twice you see me as the hostess with the mostest. And I'm going to get fired in a minute because I can see him in the background. He's very impatient with me. He says with a smile, welcome back to the first prediction show with a twist. If you can see there, it's with Steve Lynex. Unfortunately, good old Steve is on holiday, having a nice relaxing time away. So unfortunately, he can't be here tonight. But this prediction show is kind of different because we have involved you guys in the comments below. All you people that have applied to come on the prediction show league and join me, Chris, and Steve, you are here for the new version of it. We've upgraded it, but I'm trying to take over here, and you probably tell I might be a little bit nervous. So it's a good job I got the old horse with me to replace Steve because I needed a substitute. And just like any good old friend of mine, his true hero, he's come to save the day. Here is Chris. How you doing, mate?
Old horse, old horse. That's great coming from a nag.
Well, yeah, that's very true, mate. I can't argue with you there.
And having conversations with your dad while the show's starting. For God's sake, what's going on here?
I know. I don't know, mate.
What to do in the bossy? I'm very well. How are you, sir?
I'm good, mate. I'm looking forward to the show. Obviously, it is usually Steve here. Couldn't keep you away, though, could we? You sent him back on holiday.
Stepped into the breach for you, sir. Couldn't leave you flying solo on the first week.
Oh no, they get bored of seeing my face, Chris. They need you here. The wiseness is back in the room. Sanity is clear.
Playing with yourself in the first show is not very good.
Well, I you gave me that warning. I've read the note. Thanks for the email, mate. So it won't happen again, I promise. But for those of you that are familiar with the prediction show, you'll be here for a new surprise. And if you are new, that's brilliant because you also make sure if you are actually new to this channel that you are subscribing to it. It just helps us along with the support. And if you are enjoying the prediction show, because who doesn't like to try and think they know everything about football, then do hit the like button on the video as well. It just helps us get found more across all the branches, and also sharing it with your mates is ideal.
I will just explain, if I can do so, very quick. Yeah. I meant to say this before we started, but just to let people know that you didn't see the post on Twitter or Facebook. And whilst I'm here, I haven't planned this, but basically I'm taking a bit of a step back. So Brad has very kindly and generously stepped into the breach on a lot of shows. So I basically am just going to be doing the Monday night show, the watch-alongs, and the odd one when Brad's desperate and somebody's let him down. But I will still be around, but I just other things are happening in my life at the moment. So I'm enjoying life, and it's getting a bit busier because it's the championship. There's like more games. You know, we're into cup day. So when I want to get quieter, the actual club gets busier. But please give Brad the support that you've shown me over the years. I'm still wearing mine, so I'm sure Brad will wear his. But thanks to Brad for jumping in as he has done. I'm sure he will enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I hope, all I can hope is that everybody at home enjoys it, because thank you very much, Chris, for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure working with you, mate. You know how to make me laugh, and you also know how to make me wish I could dig a hole and hide when you tell some of your dad jokes. But that aside, mate, not everybody is perfect.
Oh, I've got a load lined up. Just remember, remember, you're the school teacher today. I'm the naughty kid on the back row, so bring it on.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, folks. He's already started. He knows I'm new to all this finding the buttons and all his bloody videos, so he knows to try and test me today. So this could be fun. Anyway, Chris, the difference here, we've done this before. You got bored of me beating you both, so you've changed the rules yet again, folks. For those of you that are new to prediction, so right, I am the current 2-time champion of the prediction. What did Steve and Chris clue together? They involved you guys, of course. Now, unfortunately, if you are new, the chance to enter has entered, because I believe now the Southampton are playing Sheffield Wednesday. So that's already kicked off, and it's closed now for anybody to join. But when we do these shows, feel free to comment and join yourself just for the fun. But for those that are in there, and there's a lot of you here, so I will be as quick as possible. He says, waffling on in his intro. But the basic scheme of it is, thanks to Steve and his Items and Foxy Clothing, who sponsor this show, the competition for you guys involved get a chance to win the prizes. And this is where you can find it.
The Prediction Show from Leicester Till I Die TV is brought to you by ex-Fox Steve Lynex and foxy7clothing.co.uk.
Back of the net.
There is a slight technical issue with the website at the moment, I believe, but that is getting fixed. Go and check that out. Add it to your favourites while you wait. And yeah, and you guys are playing for some wonderful prizes, aren't they, Chris?
They certainly are. If only I knew what they were. But
yes, you only have to find it.
I believe it's a hoodie, a cap, a t-shirt. There's a huge collection of items that are available to the winner. So it is worth taking part. I mean, he's been very, very generous of Steve in bringing it, in donating the prizes. It might be these.
Found it. I got that. I found it.
We took them at the same time.
Yeah, we did. As you can see there, the overall winner of the competition will receive a cap, a beanie, a t-shirt, a sweat top, and a hoodie to do with as they please. You may not be Leicester fans, but you may know someone who in there. Who knows? But that'll go to the winner. And do not worry, even though myself, Chris, Craig, and Steve are in the league, we obviously can't win it. The company members, the board directors, and Steve cannot win it. So don't worry. If you come next to us and we're first, and you're second, you will be the overall winner. We're just in it for the fun and just so you can laugh at us when you beat us and you can tell us and remind us all the time. Ain't that right, Chris? That's exactly what I'm
going to beat you this year, because of course we also used to do the ex-Foxes League with you, Craig. Now, where did you come in that, Brad?
That was only one team and we were really shit. I can't remember.
In other words,
it's like the Mickey Mouse Cup. It's like the League Cup, in it? Everybody calls that the Mickey Mouse Cup.
Who won it?
Oh, I think Jerry Tucker got stuck 20 quid to throw it. I heard something like that. Conspiracies. Allegedly.
Allegedly. We're not doing that again this season because of the time and effort that it takes. But thank you to all the ex-pros who did say that they would do it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's it's always nice to get them involved, and it's great that they've. I mean, some of them are always been part of LTID for a while as well, haven't they, Chris? So it's great. Names, but this is how we're going to do it this season. For those of you that are interested, obviously you've kind of gathered now there's a league table format to it. I'm going to do my best because there's a lot of you and I didn't realise how much paper it is. I am skillfully organised in my own little messed up mind of way. So I will be going through everybody who's in the league's scores after I get Chris's, who's filling in for Steve's, for the games. We'll be going game by game. I'm just going to get through the comments, Chris, and whiz through them so we can get the cracking on and people are waiting, because there's a lot of people in there with saying hellos. Scott, for instance, he's saying evening, hope you're all well. Nate, who is in the league, says good evening, Brad and everyone. Howdy, Nate, hope you're well. Doug's in there saying evening. Told you, bro, says evening, buzzing, the season is hit. I think we all are, mate, to be perfectly honest. Scott says, oh dear, double trouble hosting tonight. Hope you're well, chaps. Yeah, we always get on, don't we? We never don't disagree on everything.
And if we do disagree, Brad just accepts that I'm right.
Yeah, because I have.
What was it Brian Clough used to say when a player questioned him? I sat him down, we talked about it for 5-10 minutes, and then we came to the conclusion that I was right.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. But we don't tell everybody else that. Not going to like streaming over Sunday and the season as a whole. I'm fairly in an optimistic mood. I think I'm kind of... We know the Championship's not going to be as strong in the park. I mean, if it is, then, you know, Enzo's a genius if he makes it look like a stroll in the park. But we're not too expectant. I wouldn't say I'm too expectant. I'm not nervous for the game against Coventry. I'm actually excited. Oh, Doug's got the game on. Well, cheers, Doug. Keep a score updated because they have kicked off, but I have everybody's prediction, so that can't get changed.
Oh, you haven't got Steve's for that one.
Yeah, do you want to give me that quickly because it's kicked off?
Unfortunately, I do know that Southampton are winning 1-0.
Okay.
But I'm going to go. Look, I'm going to make it 1-1 as if it was a start, and then I'm going to go 3-1 Southampton.
So you're going to go 3-1 Southampton.
And in fairness, Steve needs all the help he can get, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, this is why you've stepped in to make sure he doesn't start off as he means to go on, which is be bottom of them. But we don't talk about it either. No, Steve Smart says, good evening, lads. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Leicester for Life is in. This is hi, both. How's afterwards? Leicester for Life, let us know. I just went with a random word for both. I couldn't think of anything, and I just went with afterwards. But we'll leave that there. The True Reds in the house. He says, good evening. Leicester for Life. No, Chris, I'm the naughty kid on the back row. Yeah, that's going to be a fun-filled show with you pair then, isn't it? Scott says, big shoes to fill, Brad, but I'm sure you can carry on, Chris. It's great work. Glad to see you both on the show. Cheers, Scott. Yeah, I'm hoping so. I just hope I make you laugh if I don't do anything. If I muck it up, at least I'll make you laugh and smile. That's what I can hope for. Yeah, thanks. We know that, Doug. Thanks very much for that update. And Teller as a scorer. Dan will be thrilled knowing that because they really want him, apparently, Burnley. Dan is petitioning for Teller to join Burnley, so he'll be thrilled to know that he's starting and scored for Southampton tonight. So I meant to say the show, not... Yeah, that's fine, mate. I understand what it is. I know what you're grasping at, mate. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Right, Chris. Now I've got through all that and I gave myself a headache. Let's crack on with what the actual scores and predictions have been.
We'll be back next week. Take care.
Yeah. See you later. See you later. Oh dear, how to drag out the start of a show. Only I could do it. But here we go. The first of many games. We've got 12 to get through, I believe, if I can count. Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton. We've already had your prediction. No, you already gave us one for Steve, and it's different from yours. What is it that you went for? Where are you? Here you are. You went. Where are you on this one then? Oh, here we go, Brad. Here we go, Chris. You went 2-0 Southampton. There we go. I'm looking at it in alphabetical order, and I looked at
that was done. That was done before That was done before tonight.
Yeah. Chris got his in time. He's just happened to do Steve's live, and then we kind of maybe forgot between us that we should have maybe started a bit earlier because of the Southampton game to get Steve's prediction. Yeah. But there it is. So you've gone 2-0, Chris. It seems to be the fair assumption that a lot of people are either fancying Southampton for this one. I mean, what can we really say about it? We've not been in this division for years, but we know both these sides are good. Do you think are you surprised that most people maybe have gone one-sided with their predictions?
No, I mean you've got to look at the 3 teams that come down, and we can't take any anything for granted.
Yeah,
That's for sure. But Sheffield Wednesday. They've come, but they're in. What's going on off the field, and we don't know what's gone on. But the manager's gone, and it makes me wonder. Sort of, something's not right there. Now, did he want money and they couldn't give him money? Did he want assurances that they couldn't give? It's just making me wonder. There's something not quite right there, and I think Southampton will be pleased to get Sheffield Wednesday as one of the newly promoted teams in the first game.
Yeah, but see, for me, I looked at it and I tried to think, can Sheffield Wednesday do it? Because it's at home, isn't it? It's been a long time. They've been starved of Championship football a bit for recent times, and I just feel like maybe that would have had the advantage. But then I just think like you there, and I just think their squad's going to be, they'd have probably preferred it at home. Obviously, that's always ideal. It's psychological, isn't it? To that first game, that first home game, it's really a chance to showcase what you're going to do for the rest of the season, hopefully. So I think they'll be up for it. I went with a 2-goal gap, the same, but I went 2-0. I went 2-0 to Southampton. So Steve went 3-1, and you went the same as me. So we've gone the same. So already, no matter what, you can't separate us on the first game.
No, we're like when they say about women all working together and their periods merge. That's going to be us this season.
And I just want to make this a bit more interesting, because I'm hoping to do this on the side. I haven't told Chris about this yet. This is a new extra thing for this, because this is a league format. Right, if those of you thinking being a bit ridiculous with your scores in the league, maybe think again, because I have a way of doing goals against and goals for, and that'll be condoning on how many correct scores you get results-wise, because if you get the exact same score, so if Southampton to win 2-0 tonight, me and Chris would get 3 points, and everybody who went Southampton to win would get 1 if they didn't go 2-0 as well. I will work that into you get 1 correct score and 1 result. I'll explain it better when I figured it out to show you.
Good, please do, because you lost me.
I have it on a chart written down, but it's just entered my brain now that I should have maybe gone through that with you. But there will be it's basically goals against and goals for sort of thing to work out.
Right, you are making it hard for yourself.
I know. If I don't like a challenge, why do it at all, he says. And now he's regretting his life choices.
God help you, mate. God help you.
Yeah, but I will whiz through everybody else's predictions that are in the league. If you want to get yours in the comments, that's fine. And even if you're going to tell it in the comments, that's fine, because I'm going to say them anyway. Anthony, he agreed with Saints win. He went 2-1 Southampton. Doug agreed with Anthony. He went 2-1 to Southampton. Jeff thinks it will be a 1-1 draw. John, he went 2-1 Southampton. A lot of 2-1s already. Nate, he joined Jeff, with a draw, but he went 2-2. Nippon went 2-0. Shane Downs went 0-0. Shane O'Donnell, I believe that's his last name. Apologies if I've said your name wrong there, mate. I've just put Shane O, so I need to just sort that out if that name's wrong. He went 1-1. Spencer, you went 1-1. There was another Steve in here. Steve Smart went 2-1 Southampton. Now I've got to go over here because Craig is over here. Craig, he went 3-1 Southampton. Told you, bro, is the only one I believe here. Yes, he is. He's the only one that was won 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday. Told you, bro, you're already chasing the pack. At this current moment, you're already chasing the pack. And obviously, Steve went 1-3. So that's everybody who's involved in the league's predictions. Let's just catch up with a few comments and see what they've gone. So, can I ban Scott? Because he's obviously needs to have a bit of time out here, Chris.
Yes.
My prediction, Steve Lynex to win the competition this season with the Maresca mentality of asking questions, of the question, why not? Scott, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed in your expectations on Steve. I'm sorry, I am.
I just want to have a pint, whatever he's drinking.
I know, right? I would like some as well, to be honest with you. Scott's gone Southampton draw. in the comments below. Hoping for Vardy's sake that Owls have a great season. Yeah, I suppose he'd like to see him do well. I'm not really that fussed. I still remember Sheffield Wednesday as being sponsored by the Lollipop Chubba Chub. So
Yes.
no, Sheffield Wednesday I remember. There was a rumour Darren Moore asked for a pay rise 4 times and he was on the owners and said no. Well, whatever the reason, he's gone now. It's weird, but I guess rumours will fly around all the time. There's only certain people that know the truth. It is what it is. If you remember, Darren Moore and Gary Neal both sacked at the same day. It could be a coincidence. That's not, it's just one of them things that happens in football. Everybody has their reasons for the decisions they make, whether you agree with them or not. Going to say normally I understand what you're saying, Brad, but I'm lost on your explanation. Tongue-tied, mate. Tongue-tied explanation. I will sort that to explain better to you. Scott has then said draw.
It's a good job we haven't got that little woman in the corner that was, doing sign language. She'd just be going like that to you.
Oh, well, yeah, that might be the way. Told you, bro, says I'm sure he went 2-1 Southampton. I'll double check it. You know me, Chris. If I'm not on here making a VAR check, am I really hosting the show? But I will check that. And what I'll do, Chris, is obviously we'll get your prediction from Steve straight off the bat because you're just basically making up numbers as you go along for Steve, aren't you? You're giving it too much thought. The next game on the list.
Talking to it. Give me some credit here.
Okay, you give about 10%, which is what Steve seems to give sometimes when he's making some score predictions over the years. First game on
to lose.
I know, right? Well, they're not here. They're not here, I'm afraid. I can't do that one for you. But Blackburn Rovers versus West Brom. It's a big game. This both sides have been in the division, a long time. One's a former Premier League winner, not the only one now. The bigger one's here now, but former Premier League. Dan will hate me for saying that. Winners Blackburn Rovers versus the Boing Boing Baggies. It's a tough one to decide. Now, you don't remember your predictions, which tells me how much thought you put into them.
Well, don't tell me until I've done.
Yeah, so I'm going to let you go through what you're going to give Steve first and then tell you how against yourself you've got.
I mean, I think these two will be pretty much just outside the playoffs for both of these. But Blackburn, again, there's rumours about Thomason not being happy. Blackburn haven't got the money that the chickens aren't laying the eggs in India, and they've not got the money to spend on players. So Blackburn, with them not going up this season, I think that they're going to have missed out. But West Brom, I mean, I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go for a West Brom. Am I? No, I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1.
Oh, it's not taking him long, ladies and gents. It's probably because he's not on his own, but Chris is back on his famous fence with a 1-1. With a 1-1.
I've missed them splinters, let me tell you.
Yeah. And guess what, Chris? Well, I've hosted about 4 shows, if you include the few on the quiz that I show here, and this is my second one hosting here. And am I not anything, if I go for a VAR check, am I usually wrong? And as Told You Bro said right here, that he was sure that he went 2-1 to Southampton. This is why the group chat was set up, lads. Lads and ladies, if there are any lads and ladies, this is why the group chat was set up, so I can VAR check it. I've checked the group chat. You're wrong, Told You. No, you were right. I am correct. I haven't just done that. Sorry, I don't know why I did it. But yeah, Told You Bro was correct. He did go 2-1. I don't know where I got 1-0 from, mate. I was just that in the zone.
Before we listened to the first prediction show.
Oh, maybe.
Keep going. Nobody will know. We'll cut it out later. It's not live. Nobody's watching.
Yeah, no one's here really. It's just an illusion. There we got that. It went 3-3 with the draw. Told You Bro, Southampton. I'll get there. I found my place. Scott's gone Blackburn 3, West Brom 1. I will get my words today. And no. Well, technically, yes, because I had to add you at the bottom of the table on my listings, but alphabetically, no, you're also not bottom. So yeah, now that's corrected. I can rescind that. before I tell you well, Chris, you went for 1-0 Blackburn. So you was hedging for it for Steve. So has that maybe got you thinking 1-0 Blackburn? Are you thinking cursing you change your mind, or
No. Whatever I go for Steve is what I'm thinking now. So in fairness to him, whatever I go for now, I say tell me before, so I'm not influenced at all. But yeah, I'm sticking with whatever I go for here.
Yeah, well,
and if I end up with more points as Steve, I'll be fuming.
Yeah, it's all right. Flip me the £5 over PayPal, and I'll make sure his points are deducted, mate. Don't worry.
Done, mate.
There's no corruption on this channel.
Yeah.
But everybody else, how did everybody else go? Well, Anthony thinks it'll be a thriller, but he's gone 3-2 to the Baggies. Wow. I went for 2-2. I went for my first Desmond of the year.
You just accused me of sat on the fence.
I know it was coming, so that's why I did it. Shush. Doug, he joined me on that fence. He went for the exact same. He went for a Desmond. He went 2-2. Jeff went 2-1 to Blackburn. John went 2-1 to Blackburn as well. Mike joined me on the fence, but just a little lower down, going 1-1. Nate joined me on the fence with Doug. He went 2-2. Nippon thought it'd be 2-1 to Blackburn. Shane Downs went 2-1, but to the Baggies. Shane O'Donnell also went there. So, you know, Shane, you both went for the exact same score in this game, I believe. Yeah, Shane also went 2-1 to the Baggies. What are the odds on that? Yes. Probably pretty common, to be fair. But Spencer then went 2-1 to Blackburn, and the other Steve in the group, Steve Smart went for 2-0 to Blackburn, and Craig went for 1-1, and Told You Bro, and please correct me if I'm wrong here again, you went 1-0 West Brom, and obviously you went 1-1. See, I told you there's a lot for me to get through, so I ended up going and sitting on the fence after giving you stick for it, but I just couldn't decide between them. I think they're two great sides. They've got the experience of the division. They've both experienced the rise to from the Championship to the Premiership, so they know what it's about, how to get out of this division. I think they're fairly even in when they meet up before. I could be wrong. Doug just then goes and kicks me in the teeth by telling me that Blackburn just sold their keeper to Luton, to Kaminsky. So I don't know about that. But I
think these first few weeks, certainly for us, is going to be weeing in the dark, to be honest with you, because we're not used to these teams. We've got nothing to base it on, have we, really?
Yeah. And the thing is, you can't even base it off last year in a Championship, because there's one thing you know about the Championship, it's one of the most unpredictable leagues out there, just because of the fact that, you know, anyone can finish 17th one season and then get promoted the next. Well, We've seen it happen.
Huddersfield. Yeah, exactly. Playoff. I mean, when I did the prediction show, as in the league prediction show, and I just handed it over to Dan and said, right, Dan, you know the division. Where's everybody coming? You know. But,
well, that's the joys of it. And I think the thing is as well, you go out there with that first game intent just to not lose it. You want to win it, but if you find yourself in a position where you're 1-0 down and you equalise, what do we always say? When does this game get like chess and it becomes a slow motion game? Because one team's trying to pass it and keep the ball, and the other one's got to chase it. You know, there becomes a point where the first game you just don't want to lose it, and that's why I end up sitting on the fence. Which brings us on nicely to game number 3. Anthony, I'll give you 3 guesses which way Anthony went on this. I won't tell you his score prediction yet, but he likes any team that plays in red. It is, of course, Bristol City, who take on Preston North End. I'm looking at your prediction for this. But what are you predicting for Steve?
And just as you do that, Anthony comes in the chat. The natives are restless down side the country in Bristol. Apparently, they are wanting the wonderful Sir Nigel out, which I found strange, but they are running out of patience with him. Preston North End, what's the point of them, really? Do you know what I mean? They've been in this division more years than I was married. I mean, they're not going to go up, they're not going to go down. If they get in the playoffs, they lose. I'm going to go, Look, I went 1-1 last time, so I'll have my first Desmond this time. I'm going to go 2-2.
He's going 2-2. I mean, you do sound like Steve when you go for these bizarre score lines on games after just completely bemoaning about Preston North End. You've got them getting a point on the first game of the season.
Yeah, it's a point, though. It's the first game. Everybody's going to be up for the first game, you know.
Well, yeah, you did take that into account. But also, weirdly enough, because my dad supporting Wolves and my mum supporting Coventry, here in the lower league scores happen quite a bit throughout it. And sometimes, you know, I remember, I think the last 2 seasons, Preston start off like a ground out the traps.
Mm-hmm.
A few surprising results, but like you say, when they just die off, they completely die off. They kind of, like you said, they're one of them teams you feel are just hovering above that door, and eventually you're just waiting for it to kind of drop, or they're actually going to get in the playoffs and make it. So, you know, it's a tough game to call. But I do think maybe for me, there's a little bit of nostalgia because Nigel Pearson, and I don't want to upset Anthony on the first show. You know, I'll wait a bit. I'll ease him into my regime before I start really insulting him.
Yeah.
But Chris, you've gone 2-2. You've gone Desmond for Steve. But what did you go for yourself? Well, Chris, I can tell you that you are just as predictable as Steve because you went for a 0-0. You just said about goals excitement and every team going for it, and you went for dull as dishwater last on.
I'm consistent with the draws. Let's be honest, I've got a draw for them both, but it's either going to be a load of goals or no goals at all.
Well, never fear, you are not alone because Scott also believes in you, Chris. He's gone 0-0 Preston. And Anthony, well, he's first on the list, so I don't mind this. He's gone 2-1 Bristol City. That shocked me not.
Who would have known it?
Who would have seen it indeed, Chris? You know, so Anthony obviously went 2-1 Bristol. I'm even more optimistic than Anthony. I've gone 3-1 to Bristol, as you did. As you said, you went 0-0. Doug went 2-1 to Bristol City. Jeff went 2-0 to Bristol City. John went 1-0 to Bristol City. Mike Green, who I think I've been skipping out on his results. I do apologise.
No, you said it last time. You did say
I did. Mike went 2-1 to Bristol City. Nate went 2-1 to Bristol City. Nippon went 2-2. Shane Downs went 0-0. Shane O'Donnell went 2-1 to Bristol City. Spencer went 1-0 to Bristol City. Everybody's back in the Robins for this one by the sounds of things. No one really likes Preston. Steve thinks they'll get a draw though, Preston, after saying that. Steve Smart's gone 1-1. Craig, he then went, he also went 1-1, so he has a bit more faith in them than most. And told you, bro, prepares for VAR, but he has gone 1-0 Bristol City. I don't think anybody there.
Oh, no, he's not.
Preston, any faith at all, apart from the odd draw here or there. Yeah, I don't think anybody. Nobody went for a Preston win at all. What was his favouritism to Andy? To Anthony? What is going on in this round? One real want a team that
you've got to look after the elders, haven't you?
I know you've got it. It's some form of retirement day for him. Bless him, because he's not supporting Arsenal this year. They're too expensive for his taste.
Anthony, don't forget, try and get me a ticket in the home end because I'm not going to be able to get one in the away end. Yeah,
you've been told, Mr. Anthony, bring it on the screen like that's you responding, but you're not.
You're putting me up for the night when I come. You're going out, just leave me with your missus.
Oh, wow, now. Here we go. It's still, see, you've missed this, haven't you, guys? You'd have missed this if he wasn't on the first show.
Do you know what? I was out shopping here. Went into the Apple store, and they caught a shoplifter. I saw it happen. They said, "Come here, you're an eyewitness."
Oh.
This is what they want. This. Morning.
I can't believe it, Chris. I cannot believe it.
Good morning. I have 3 hours of this every morning on the radio. I tell you.
Chris.
Maybe we could live without the wisecracks.
Oh my God, you're throwing it back at me.
Yeah. You just need it sometimes, Chris. Just bring you that back. You know what? I felt like doing this for you.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Saudi in that show yet?
Yeah, no, not yet. Don't shut up. They put a short on earlier. He's still there. I'm still happy with life. But no, it seems like everybody went for a Bristol City win. So we don't really talk about that. Most people maybe think a draw, but it's surprising because Preston do have the form. But with that becomes the most annoying fixture I had to write out in a little anagrams because it was Mid versus Mill. And I've completely blew my brains trying to write it so many times. You know, Chris, I wrote this table out several times. But it is Middlesbrough versus Millwall, which is a lot easier to say than it is to spell sometimes. I had to double check my spelling. I will be honest with you on Middlesbrough. Chris, Steve needs a prediction. What way are you going for this one?
Millwall only just missed out, and they weren't. I believe they were in the playoffs for quite a while, but ended up outside, finishing 8th. Middlesbrough, they got the new manager in, whose name escapes me just for a minute, but you know who I mean. I think Middlesbrough are going to be up there fighting for promotion this season. The owner at Middlesbrough sticks by his players, his managers. Sorry, he doesn't sack willy-nilly. It's at Middlesbrough. I'm going to go 2-0 Middlesbrough.
You're going to give Steve the 2-0 to Middlesbrough. I mean, the thing is, Chris, these two are never really too far apart. And, Middlesbrough always seem to sort of start really well and look like they're going for the automatic zones. And then just seem to fade a little bit. But they always seem to make the playoffs or there and thereabout. And Millwall are a team that when I was on Dan's channel, when obviously it was on there a few times last season because they were in Championship. And I always said the thing with Millwall is they always seem to get to 8th. You know, Millwall 8th and the Championship go hand in hand together, it feels like. I swear they've been 8th every season since they've been in there. But they always seem to be around 8th. They never quite have enough legs to make the playoffs, but they do well enough to not finish bottom half of the table. It's a weird one.
Doug, and thank you, Doug, for reminding me. Michael Carrick, I couldn't think of his name. I'm totally unprepared for this show because, like I say, we thought Steve was coming on and also a last-minute replacement. But
you're doing a great job for your first show on, mate. Don't worry, no pressure. You're doing great.
But I just think Michael Carrick, he had his first season, or I don't think it was a full season, was it, last season at Middlesbrough? I just think he's gonna do good things with them this season.
Yeah, well,
Millwall.
It's another team in red, so you know which way Anthony's gone. I don't even need to look at the scores and remember them. You know which way Anthony's gone. It's red for Middlesbrough. But I agree with you. I think they have a really good start. I know Millwall can have that start, but Michael Carrick, it's good to see an ex-footballer not completely stroll into a Chelsea like a certain Frank Lampard.
Yeah, but didn't Frank Lampard, in fairness, start at Derby in the Championship?
Yeah, and he bottled it. And I think it was.
He could. Yeah, Carrick. Mate. Be fair.
Don't get me wrong. I will take this all back if Carrick then jumps ship at the first sign of a big job, desperate for a manager. But I don't see with Ten Hag it being Man United anytime soon. So I think that opportunity maybe shuts the door because it's usually ex-club like that level, isn't it?
Just remember, Scott Parker's in the wings waiting. He's not gone to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well, I'll gladly shoot his wings if he's waiting with his wings. I'll shoot him off so he can't get here. But no, Doug's laughing at when we're having a little bit of a laugh there, kicking each other out and doing whatnot with the videos. Scott says not even an hour in and the first jokes are out. Yeah, it was. I'm surprised it took him that long, to be honest with you.
I've got plenty lined up, don't worry.
I'm going to have to get used to wear these banners and everything. Cheers, Chris. Iheanacho, top goal scorer. Yeah, if he stays here, I hope he gets the run to go for. Scott's gone against the grain. Yeah, he's safely not in the predictions league, so if this goes well for him, he's going to be gutted. But he's gone 3-1 to Millwall, and obviously I don't need to put the other comment up because it's Doug saying about Michael Carrick. But what did everybody else go for? Well, let me just get myself prepared for when we change the teams. Anthony, he went 2-0 to Middlesbrough. I went 2-1 to Middlesbrough because I think, like you, they're going to be up there and they're going to have to get off to a good start. Chris, you're confident with Middlesbrough for Steve, but you've sat on that fence of yours again because you went 1-1. So after all that, you've managed to successfully negotiate your own confidence by going back to back to a draw. You love the fence, mate. You can't get rid of it. You can take him out. You can take the man out of the show, but you can't take him off his fence.
You can tell. At least you can tell I'm not being biased to Steve.
Yeah, you are trying to be different to yourself. I do appreciate it, mate. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Doug thinks it'll be 3-1 to Middlesbrough. Jeff has gone 2-2 between the pair. He can't separate them. He thinks it'll be more exciting than you. John has then gone 3-1 to Middlesbrough. Mike has gone 2-1 to Middlesbrough. Nate has gone 3-1 to Middlesbrough. Nippin's gone for an absolute thriller, Chris. He's gone 3-3. Nippin and his wild high numbers. True or false, there may be a 7-4 in here with Nippin. He loves it. He loves a ridiculous score. I love him for it. 3-3. Mate, if it happens, I'll give you the money myself. Shane Downs has gone 2-0 Middlesbrough. Shane O'Donnell has gone 3-1 Middlesbrough. Spencer has gone 3-1 to Middlesbrough as well. Steve has gone 3-1. Seems like the biggest popular score of it. Craig, he has gone 3-1 to Middlesbrough. And Told You Bro has gone for a Desmond, I believe. Yes, he's gone for a Desmond, or is that a 1? I'll figure it out. It's either 2-2 or 2-1. That's my handwriting, not.
You know what's worrying me? Is I actually think I'm putting more thought into my predictions for Steve than I did to my own.
It certainly sounds like it, mate. That's all I will say. It certainly sounds like it.
I have to get up at 6 in the morning these days, and my mind's not there.
Well, if one is a king, everybody needs a court gesture. Now, Dan, as you know, hosts his own predictions league show, which a certain smug person came to me saying, not here, not him, not that's wrong person. A certain smug person has already started, Anthony, who is of course the current champion on that one. But I said to him, welcome to the big leagues, mate. I'm the 2-time champion, you're the 1-time champion. So he's already getting smug, thinking 15 points this week. It's all right, there's more than 15 points up for grabs, mate, because it's a small game, so you still won't.
Isn't that what Steve said?
Yeah, how did that go for him again?
Not very well, my memory serves me right.
Oh, well, I don't remember him going well, but he told me that apparently he was a bit like Gorinda.
Elite
Elite being bottom. That is what Steve was when he last said that. That's there. So you can have your 15 points. You just cursed yourself, Anthony. Doug, I wasn't having a go at you there. I pushed on the wrong comment first, so I'm glad you got to clear that up. Brad, if you ever need a guest on.
I think that was Anthony's prediction for Bristol City's points for the season, wasn't it?
Oh, he might have missed that part out, Chris. It looks like it. Going for a derby, I like that. Told you, bro, just backing me up there. Don't need to be on that one. He's gone for Desmond. He says it there himself. Thank you very much. Off the line, Southampton a bit battering Sheffield Wednesday, still 1-0. Cheers, Jeff. That's what I'm going to start calling him from now on. He's our correspondent on the pitch side, Doug, with that sort of comments there. So it looks like everybody's overwhelming for apart from Scott. Weirdly enough, I think he might be the only one that I said there that was rooting for Millwall to win. That might just be bitterness from some Leicester fans remembering a certain player that he should not be named that played for them. Of course, people may forget that a certain Steve Claridge, who is idolised at Leicester, went to them afterwards, and a certain Casey Keller came from them. So at least we've had some good fortune from Millwall, if it does help not blemish their name completely. Although someone will probably tell me about some disaster train wreck that came from Millwall again, and that will put them back level. But how did everybody... so with everybody else's predictions, we will move on to Norwich versus Hull City, the next game. This is taking my breath out. I did not prepare for this many games, Chris. I'm not used to it. Why didn't you let me have the job in the Premiership, for God's sake? Norwich versus Hull City.
Well, this one is definitely a tale of two cities, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, yes, Chris. It is a tale of two cities.
You can't argue with me.
Oh, I can't argue with you. I can't argue.
Bell end.
You're going to go through every single video.
I'm not going to get used to it, mate. I'm going to get used to them as quick as I can. But no.
Come on, that was good. Now look, seriously, Norwich, they're going to finish mid-table. Hull are going to probably finish. I thought they'd do better than Dan actually had them doing. I'm at It's at Norwich.
Listen to Steve. Don't put so much thought into it.
Let's be Avenue. Let's be Avenue now, Norwich. Come on. You think they play at Carrow Road? Oh no, it's Let's Be Avenue. They're all coming thick and fast here, aren't they? Now I'm gonna go. I'll go 1-0 Norwich.
You're gonna go 1-0 Norwich. We got there in the end. At least, like Steve, you're giving the dialogue. I love it, mate. I love it. You're doing the best of Steve. The randomness and then just 1-0 Norwich. I love it.
What do you mean? I'm impersonating you.
You know,
he's looking for another video, folks.
I'm not. I think I am, but I'm not. I don't know what I'm looking for. I've given up on life. We'll move on. We'll see what everybody else is saying about the game because I couldn't find what I was looking for. You've gone 1-0 for Steve. Let's see what you predicted yourself. Oh, wow. That's a shock. I can confirm for you without telling you what you went for. You didn't go and sit on your fence. You've got off your fence, Chris. Breaking news. Chris has got off his fence. But Anthony, he's gone 2-2.
You say that though, you know. But I said once when I was talking to John Blackwell, I said, "What's going to happen about defence?" He said, "The man with the hammer's coming in the morning to fix it." That end's coming, I know.
Bell end.
I deserve it for that one. I can't deny it.
You do, and may I just say, right? I can't believe I'm already doing this on show one. But if any of the absolutely abysmal play on words and puns have affected you tonight, any of Chris's comments, of course, you're any any issues at all, and you're feeling a bit down, you can't take any more of his dad joke humour, please do feel free. The number for the Samaritans is on the screen right there. But we will put that back on there for away for now. You've had the warning, Chris. I'm good. You're making me work hard on my first show. It's good to know, mate. Thanks. Love you, mate. You're brilliant. Is this job worth it again?
Yeah. I have an easy ride. You know?
Yeah. I thought giving me the stress of the league was bad. It was going to be enough. You're dragging this out. Oh, dear. Yeah, right. Did I say everybody's score predictions? I did, didn't I? Please tell me I did.
No.
Where did I get up to? Have I just gone through them all, Chris? Because you're throwing me off now. I'll throw myself off.
No, you didn't go through them all, but I'm not sure where you're up to.
You know what? I'll just go through them again. Anthony, he joined you on the fence. He went 2-all. After all that, I actually joined you with the exact same score prediction you've gave for Steve. I went 1-0 Norwich. Can't believe I forgot where I was. Chris, you obviously went 2-1 to Norwich. So you went the same way, but you gave yourself more goals than that one. Doug went 2-0 Norwich. Jeff sat on the fence and went 1-all. John went 2-0 to Norwich. Mike went 2-1 to Norwich. Nate went 2-1 to Norwich. Nippon sat on the fence. He didn't go 3-3 this time, no. He just went 2-1. 2-2.
2-1 on the fence.
Shane Downs went 1-all. Shane O'Donnell went 1-0. Spencer went 1-1. Steve Smart went 2-0 to Norwich. Craig, he sat on the fence and went 1-all. And Told You Bro, well, he went 2-1 to Hull City.
Are you sure?
I believe yes, I am sure. Told You Bro, please don't tell me to VAR it. I can't be dealing with my life if I have to keep VAR and Told You Bros. Because it's the one I've got wrong so far.
You can't even read your own writing on his scores, can you?
I know, right? I can't function in the group chat, mate. That's why it's on my personal CCTV cameras. I can check on there for editing. I'll get the notification. But yeah, unless he's going to correct me in the comments, told you, bro, he's the only one that's gone for a Hull win, which is a surprise. Let's see. Scott has gone in the comments. He has put Norwich 2, Hull 2, so he also thinks he can't decide between them and is sat on the Chris fence. How many subs can you use? Still a maximum of 5 per game. I believe it's more. I'm not sure on the numbers, but someone informed me and Craig yesterday in the comments. I think it was True Red. He told us that you are allowed more on the bench this season. Excuse me, in the Championship. And I assume League 1 and 2 are the same. So, yeah, we have more players available on the bench than 5. It might be 7. I'm not sure. What next? Come on, you Saints. Of course, they play. Well, they're half in red, aren't they? So maybe he's only half-heartedly supporting them, playing red and white. What do you give a bird that's injured? Treatment.
You better give him Bellend as well now.
Doug.
Bellend.
Fair enough.
That's it now. That's how I'm going to punish you. If you're going to be like naughty children on a naughty step, that's it. No, they've all been correct apart from the Southampton one. There you go. Just the Saints one I got wrong. So I am right. He has gone deluded now. He must have had some funny juice when he fought Hall, according to you lot, because you've either gone for a draw or a win for Norwich. And to be fair, they have been abysmal, really. Hull are like what you think of Preston North End to me. Hull are like stinking out the Championship team. It always feels like they're there. There's a few others because it's quite a big division. You know, it's not sounding too fair and Hull, but they're in that bracket all the time. They're always in that bottom 15. It feels like I think they had one season, maybe a few good ones, many moons ago as well. When funny enough, Nigel Pearson was in charge of them. They did all right. They did a bit better, but they've just been stuck in the rut. They need to either improve or maybe they're going to be struggling this season. So I'm not surprised a lot of people went Norwich. Norwich for the win. I'm going over to our version of Chris Kamara. He's on the sports status. He's telling us here Southampton are 1-0 at half time. So far, pretty much everybody is the majority of you are on for a point at least, if not 3, without checking them all again, which I am not going to do because there's a lot. But thanks for that, Doug. So we will move on to the next game, and that on the list is New Boys. They bring us Gingsters, which you either love or find absolutely revolting. Unfortunately, I am one that's tasted an actual pasty from the seaside area before. Anyone who knows me knows I go to St Ives, so Gingsters are horrible. Sorry to Plymouth fans out there that maybe cherishes them, but they take on some little Jack Russell Terriers, I believe they call themselves. The Terriers is Huddersfield Town. This one, Chris, a bit different, isn't it? Because this is new. Plymouth have been out for a while. Huddersfield, former Premier League in recent times. Where are you going to put it for Steve?
Well, first of all, your joke about Huddersfield Town and the Terriers was dog awful. But I'm going to go 0-0.
You're going to get straight in there and go 0-0 for Steve. Yeah, I don't think you're the only one that's gone that, if memory serves me correct. Did you go for it for yourself? We'll find out now. Anthony went 2-1 Huddersfield. I've gone 2-0 to Plymouth. Chris, you've gone 1-0 Plymouth. Do you give them an edge, which, new side promotion at home?
I'm surprised. I must have been drinking.
Either that or you were copying Doug's homework, because Doug has gone 1-0 to Plymouth himself. Jeff has gone 2-0 to Plymouth. John's gone 1-0 to Plymouth. Mike's gone 1-0 to Plymouth. Nate has agreed with you in the form of Steve. He's gone 1-1. Nippon's gone 2-1 to Plymouth. Shane Downs has gone 0-0. So he has agreed with you completely as Steve. So Steve and Shane, I don't know what to say, mate. Unfortunately, you're copying the imitator of Steve. So it might go well for you a little bit better because it's Chris's brain working. Shane O'Donnell, he's gone 1-1. Spencer's gone 2-1. Steve Smart's gone 2-1. Sorry, that was 2-1 to Plymouth for Spencer, and Steve's gone 2-1 to Huddersfield. And I need to move that out of the way now because we're getting into this part of it. Craig has gone for a Desmond. He's gone 2-2. And Told You Bro has gone 2-0 to Plymouth. So, yeah, fair majority. The odd one or two have gone for Huddersfield. A bit of injustice, though, former Premier League team. I know I've gone against him for it. I've very strong backing for Plymouth in that one. But is that a bit unfair on Huddersfield? I know it's away from home. But
haven't they got, what's he called? Isn't he there now?
I don't know what's he called.
Warnock.
Yes, he has agreed to stay on. He has agreed to stay on. He pulled off a little mini miracle, didn't he, with them?
Yeah, but I think the thing with Plymouth is it's like Luton. I mean, Luton, I think, will have a good start. All new Premier League teams that come up that haven't been up for a while, or it's the first time up, and it's the same, I think, when you go up from any division. You surprise the teams that are there because you knew they don't know you. You know, you're not. And I think Plymouth might do that for the first few games. But I do think they'll end up the season going down. So sorry, Plymouth fans.
Well, there you have it. He does think he'll go down, but that's why he's gone 0-0 in his head and then shocked himself with his own prediction. But yeah, I think it's going to be the best game. It has the potential with the fact that Argyle at home and it's been a while for them in this division. That I do think they can make a bit of a good start. But I'm with you. You normally find that these teams, and we'll talk about one later on, that have been a bit of a yo-yo of the Championship. In fact, they're coming up next. I think they'll struggle to stay up. I think it's maybe something where they may have to go down and get, unfortunately suffer relegation. But I don't think they'll go so long without coming back up to the Championship if that did happen. But no. I think there's potential for them to pick up points early doors, and they kind of got to, don't they? Yeah. And bringing that onto a team, like I said, that's been a bit of been the West Brom of the Championship, if you will. It feels like over recent history. Not Stoke City, but their opponents, Rotherham United, Chris. And just while you're thinking of your prediction for Steve, I'm just going to go in the comment section and find. Wait a minute. I'm just going to get this one out of the way because this is the sensible one. And that says a lot. Because Scott has gone for an absolute belter of the game. He thinks it'll be 4-2 to Plymouth. I'd love to see it, mate. I do think it has the potential to be an exciting one. But I'm just going to get it ready because what do you give a pig when it is injured? Ointment.
Bell end.
It's just, I'm not angry. I'm furious. I'm not even disappointed. I'm beyond it. So there we are.
I mean, you've got sometimes, Doug, you've got to show self-restraint. I mean, I thought I would tell you my pizza joke, but I thought let's just do cheesy.
Bell end.
In a minute, I'm going to send him a message on Twitter, and I'm going to send this man to you.
Oh,
play the whole thing because it is a little bit longer than that. But I'll send me main man Tyson around. You know me and Josh go way back, me and him. I'll send him to sort you out and get these dad jokes knocked out of your system.
City, Rotherham.
City, the bore of the Championship versus the Yo-Yo Club.
Yeah, Rotherham were lucky to stay up last season, I think.
Well, by hook or by crook, mate.
Yeah, I think they'll struggle again this season. Stoke, again, they've just become sort of mid-table Midlanders, haven't they, really?
Yeah.
But, 2-0 Stoke.
2-0 Stoke. Well, you've been bold and brash all day with yours, but have you gone down the same road as yourself? When my pen wants to work, why would you do this to me now? 2-0 Stoke is your prediction for Steve. But what did everybody else go for who's involved in the league? Well, I can tell you this is a nightmare to sort out. But Anthony reckons it'll be a draw. He sat on the fence. And I agreed with him, so I'm already worried about my prediction.
Honestly, you fence sitters, come on, commit.
Yeah, well, you know how you've gone for 2-0. You say commit. I'd rather go for the draw than what you've done, mate, because you've gone 2-0 Stoke in Steve's honour. But maybe you want to VAR it. I don't know. But you have gone 2-0 Rotherham.
No, like I say, I'm just, no.
He's gone white. He's definitely gone outside the box if that is right. Because
there's no point in doing the same for both sets, is there? Let's be honest. Come on.
No, but I don't want to get ahead of my own score prediction reading out here, but you may be the only one that is back in the Chuckle Brothers Club.
I think I felt a bit sorry for Julian Watts because that's his team.
Oh, well, there you go. Sorry to Mr. Watts for that one. I hope he's not too offended, but at least you backed his club there, you know what I mean? So, you did in one way, but Doug went 2-0 to Stoke. Jeff went 3-0 to Stoke. John went 3-1 to Stoke. Mike went 1-0 Stoke. Nate went 2-1 Stoke. Nippon joined him, going 2-1 as well to Stoke. Shane
have lost Brad. We got him back.
Oh, where did I get up to? Where did I go when you lost me?
I'm not sure.
Jeff went 3-0 to Stoke. John went 3-1 to Stoke. Mike went 1-0 Stoke. Nate and Nippon both went 2-1 to Stoke. Shane Downs went 2-0. Shane O'Donnell went 1-0. Spencer went 3-1. These are all to Stoke. No surprises here. Steve went 1-0 to Stoke. Craig went 3-1 to Stoke. And so did Told You Bro. So, that is all the predictions up to date on that one. Now then, there's a few of these lying around from the west end of our end, mate, from the Midlands. They are the next ones up. They're against the team in the Welsh. They've got to go to the valleys of Swansea City. So it is Swansea City versus Birmingham City. This should be an interesting one. Or a boring one, I feel.
And it all...
Oh, you're breaking up, mate.
Am I breaking up now?
Yeah, now you've frozen. It's probably the stream site. I don't, you know what it's like. No, you've completely frozen now, mate. Why he's frozen? I don't know if it's freezing everybody else's end, but he's frozen my end. Stoke 1, Rotherham 2. He's not completely unfrozen yet, but we're getting there. Rotherham 2 says Scott. Since Stoke came down to the Championship, they've been 14th, 14th, 15th, 15th, 16th, and were 16th last season. So that doesn't fill me with great confidence. Right, is Chris's prediction for us really what Dan the Burnley fans predicted? Don't think so, mate. They're all his own ones. Chris seems to be glitching rather than Brad. So what I'm going to do, Chris, is because if you can still hear me, you completely froze on my screen. See if I can remove him, see if that does anything. Technical difficulties are being had. So what I will do is I shall... No, you're still freezing this end, mate. I don't know if anyone... Yeah, it's completely gone now. So thanks for that, Scott, so we know it's that. So Chris is just backstage waiting for himself to unfreeze. But how did you guys go? Well, I can tell you that... I can't do Chris's. So I won't read Chris's out. I will not read Chris's out. Anthony went 2-2. I went 0-0. Doug went 1-1. Jeff went 3-1 to Swansea. John went 2-0 to Swansea. Mike went 2-0 to Swansea. Nate went 1-1. Nippon went 1-1. Shane Downs went 2-1 to Birmingham. Shane O'Donnell also said the same. He went 2-1 Birmingham. Spencer went 2-2. Steve Smart went 2-2. Craig, he went 1-0 to Birmingham. So a lot of people swaying towards Birmingham. Told You also went for a Birmingham win 2-1. No, he didn't. He went 1-1. I looked at the wrong one there. I do apologise. And Steve, Chris, what are you going for here? Because I haven't read out yours. I didn't read yours out. Good to have you back, mate.
I think it definitely was my end because I got the little internet warning up. So weather's been a little bit iffy down here. So internet's been up and down.
Yeah, Scott says better now, Chris, and I will go clear. We know it's either we'll blame StreamYard. What they're going to do? What they're going to do? Just blame
talk. I think Birmingham will go down. If Swansea can hold on to Perlo, they might just be outside the playoffs. I'm going to go for a 2-0 to Swansea.
You're going 2-0 Swansea for Steve. And you, Chris, well, you were, I believe, let me find you. You are, I have found you. You were even more confident. You went for 3-0 to Swansea. I agree with you on that sense. I believe I went for a win for them. No, I went for a draw. Just because if Swansea can be a bit drab at times and if they get off to a dull start, it's the only way I see a draw. But I agree with you in the sense that I think Birmingham are one of them teams that they've just... I know Tom Brady's just become a minority shareholder or something like that. I think it was with Birmingham I saw this morning. I could be wrong. I know it's definitely a championship club. Yeah, I do think they'll struggle this season. I know that they've got a chance that they'll probably fall through that trap door. Swansea just have this habit of being a bit stale. Again, recently they've faltered to deceive, so that's why I end up going 0-0. But I do think the Birmingham fans, sorry, but I think you're in for a bit of pain. Now, on to probably the one of the most worst places you could go for a job, but great for a short-term boost in money. It is, of course, applying and accepting the offer from the Watford board for their job versus Queen's Park Rangers. Chris, one team we don't like for other reasons other than their ownership policy with managers and their longevity they're given, but also for that two-legged pre-season friendly that definitely wasn't a playoff semi-final that we lost. And then, of course, obviously, it's just QPR. These two also had that. Didn't these two play when that mystery goal was given? I don't know, so I might confirm in the comments or deny it. I'm sure one of them was in it. But Chris, where are you going for Steve?
I don't like Watford, as you know. I like QPR. I've got a soft spot for QPR, but I think it'll be a 0-0.
Oh, he's saying the paint will dry and it'll be more entertaining to watch it than it would be to watch Watford QPR. But did you actually think that originally? We'll find out, won't we? Because everybody else, Chris, for Watford QPR, I've given Watford the edge, annoyingly. I think I just remember seeing QPR struggle last season.
Yeah, they did. They finished 20th last season.
Yeah, I don't think it was a great season for teams that played in blue and white. I think Reading got relegated.
They did.
They did. Yes. So it wasn't a brilliant season for teams in that colour. Chris, you have not been boring. You've gone for a 2-0 win to QPR, so your hatred flowed through you.
I was trying to not let it affect me for Steve.
Doug has gone 3-1 to Watford. Jeff has sat on your fence. He's gone 1-1. John has gone 2-1 to Watford. Mike went 3-1 to Watford. Nate has gone for a 1-1 draw. Nippon also joining him on the fence with a 1-1 draw. Shane Downs went for Watford to win 2-1, and Shane O'Donnell went for a 2-0 win. Spencer, he went 1-0 win for Watford as well. Steve Smart, he has gone for QPR to win it, so he has let his hatred potentially run through there. So you're not alone on that QPR boat, mate. Don't you worry. Craig, he went for a 2-1 Watford win, and Told You Bro also went for a Watford win. He was going 2-0. So that's everybody's predictions from there. That's mine and yours. Now, I know what people might be expecting. Oh, gosh. Scott's trying to get some brownie points from you here, Chris. He's gone Watford 0, QPR 5.
Wow.
He's always your favourite, weren't he? Chris Scott.
I like Scott. A lot of times he's a fine man. I like the cut of that man's jib.
I'm sure you do. But Scott's always one for never a kiss ass is our Scott. He loves it. He's great. He's great. We are getting to the final three. So I'm just gonna say that I'm trying to think my way around so I can get here as best you can. If you are listening to us on podcasts,
just a bit of a clue, by the way, Brad. Once you get past the first few, which are sort of opening and closing, then you'll generally find them in alphabetical order.
Oh yes, I know that, mate. But me and my brain.
Sorry, just thought I'd give you a bit of a helping hand there.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Just quickly, so you all know, for the LTID TV channel, it's not available on the quiz one, which is where we're also obviously streaming too. But if you go on the main channel, you can become a member of the channel for just $1.99 a month. Full details with a link in the description as always. Every little helps. And with that in note, I know it's somewhere. This is what I've been doing. I've been looking for it. Just remember it. And I can't never find it when I need it. Here are the current members going across the bottom. Thank you to all of you that have come in. That's Mike, that's John, Spencer, Matthew, Tony Snooker Fan, James Dunham, Rowan Tree, Shane Downs is there, myself obviously a member, Steve who's in there, he's in the table, he's also in there. Highfield Fox is a member, John Thornton, Told You Bro is in there, VAR in as well for his membership. He's getting his membership's worth on this show, isn't he, Chris?
Yes.
Ash Patini, Sharky Judy, Doug, of course, as always, is an absolute gentleman. Thank you very much. Nathan, Kate, Dave, and supported by the LTID TV to become a member for, again, actually, that only $1.99.
Thank you to everybody who has done that. It all helps. As you probably know, we've, as well as me cutting back, we've also closed down the website, and that's basically because it was costing so much money to run these things for what was coming in. So every little helps, as Tesco say.
Yeah, they do. So thank you very much to everybody that's involved in that. And and that's where you can also check out our sister channel, which is currently where you can get this from as well at the moment. It's where all quizzes are going to be. The million point drop is the current one we're going through. There's loads of quizzes, good, new and old, that are coming there. And if you love it, get over there, show your support to it.
Like your quizzes, that's the place to go.
It definitely is, because it's the mainstay for it.
And I've got to be guys, Brad is a better quiz master than he is quiz contestant.
Yeah, all right, rub it in. I remember that.
Well, no. You're so good at predictions, but you couldn't work out why Leicester played in white in an FA Cup final.
Yeah, stupid black and white tellies, mate. Before my time. But also, I'd love to give a mention to our people that are listening to this live on the podcast version or catching it up if you're listening to it back now. And I just want to say, if you want to listen to it instead of seeing our beautiful faces on screen because we're too gorgeous to stare at, we know the truth, but it's okay. This is where you can find the podcast.
Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
Something is coming. Something big
To this podcast.
Hello, Chris.
Hello.
Hello. And as you know, this show couldn't do it without it, because Championship means you can do it for the BBC, but TalkSport is also in link with us on it, so you can catch us.
The TalkSport Fan Network is the ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts,
including Leicester Till I Die, independent analysis and reaction for the Foxes faithful.
The TalkSport Fan Network.
Unbeatable club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Follow the podcast on the TalkSport Fan Network.
I can tell you what, I joined TalkSport in January, and I was with Sport Social before then, and no disrespect to Sport Social, didn't have any problems with them at all. They were uploading, brilliant, getting views. Well, I got 25,000, 43,000 listens in 12 months. But TalkSport, when they come knocking, you can't say no, and I moved over to them, and the response, the listeners they get, and that what you've just heard does actually get played on TalkSport. All individual club adverts get played over, so they really do back us. So, yeah, thank you, TalkSport, for the faith you're showing us.
Yeah, it's brilliant to have that, available to everybody to go to, and it's a great place to listen to the podcast on if you really want to, as well as everywhere else that you saw in them videos. But I know what everybody's expecting there. For those in the chat, they'll know how the fixtures have written, but I'm obviously going to make you wait for that, because I've got a funny feeling a lot of you are waiting for a certain fixture, because we are about a certain team. So those of you that are getting your hands ready, preempting a prediction, I saw you coming. And there's a reason I've seen you coming, because I'm going to advertise it brilliantly. We've done the Watford QPR game, Brad. We are moving on to Leeds United versus Cardiff City. So if none of us have got an agenda, I still have one against Leeds. So I may surprise you with mine. But before we get to them, Leeds United versus the second Welsh team in this division of Cardiff City. Again, former Premier League sides, both of these clubs as well. Leeds came down with us. Leeds top 3 favourites. I know that's probably a bit safe-sidey from the bookie side of things in terms of it, to back the 3 horses that came down. But, I mean, me personally, I know Cardiff. They join the list, mate. They make that list. For me, it's Hull City and Cardiff, but, now make that list with Birmingham as well. Do they like that for you? Do you fear it for him? Is that what you're going for with Steve, or where's Steve going?
I'm trying to. I really do hope I've gone this way for me as well, because Cardiff, apparently the natives are restless. Vincent Tan, excuse me, isn't very popular at the moment as an owner. Not that he has been for a while, in fairness, even when they were doing well. But Leeds, and I'll touch on the relegated teams more when we get to our own game. But Cardiff, yeah, they're going to struggle this year. I mean, they were 21st last year, which says it all. So I've got this that I'm going to go for Steve 2-0 Leeds.
He's gone for 2-0 Leeds. My opinion hasn't changed of Leeds. For those who know my opinion, so this one was a little bit of an annoying game for me, but I have managed to save myself here. Chris, what do me and you usually do 99% of the time when it comes to Leicester? We can't ever back them to lose. We have to say a draw, even if we don't believe we don't. We know we can be biased for Leicester, because let's face it, we all want them to win, even if our heart usually rules our head. So with me saying that about Cardiff and how terrible they are, I'm just going to skip Anthony here to kind of get the kind of reaction from you that I'm expecting. I sat on the fence, mate. I've gone 1-1, because really? I don't think Cardiff actually will win the game against Leeds, but I don't want Leeds to win, because there's something about Leeds I just can't get behind. I don't actually believe my own prediction. To tell you that we as hosts do not necessarily mean the comments we say, as Chris would say, with certain people needs to come in. I have sat on the fence purely because I do not see Cardiff winning, and I want to get points. If I'm going to get points, that's the only way I want to get it against Leeds.
Yeah, I know why people don't like Leeds. Dirty Leeds, and that game they played against Chelsea, that's still classed as the dirtiest football game ever played in this country. But I look at it from a fan's point of view, and I know Luke's in, so I'm not having to go at... I know every fan's not the same, but when Leeds got promoted, compare that to when Forest got promoted. When Forest got promoted, we're back where we belong. Well, no, all right, you belong because you won the playoff, but, there you go. Where Leeds, when they came up, it's good to be back, isn't it? And they had more right to say they were back where they belong than Forest did. So I have a lot more time for Leeds fans than I do for Forest fans. So I quite like Leeds, if I'm honest with you.
Well, we are complete polar opposites on that, so we're going to have some fun arguments throughout the season when you're in the chat.
Basically, I've got to try and find one now, haven't I? But, well, what can I say to you? I can probably say this.
Your opinion is wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, but the brilliant thing is I can just do that, and you won't be able to say a word because it won't matter anywhere.
But goodbye, Brad.
Have the power to do the same. So now let's sort the order out. Get me. The viewership went up when we both went off screen. So maybe we should have stayed off screen. Why wouldn't it? There you go. We'll load up there.
I think basically we were clicking it at the same time. That's what it was.
Basically, yeah. We'll
Too
get
many
this
cooks and all that. Too many cooks. Yeah. Or is it cocks? I'm not sure which.
Well, rather you than me. But where does everybody else go in the league? I'll let you know. Anthony's back in Leeds to win by the same scoreline you've gone for Steve, 2-0. You've gone for the same gap, but a different scoreline. You've gave Cardiff some glimmer of hope because you've gone 3-1 to Leeds. Doug has gone 2-0. Jeff hates Leeds more than I do because he's gone 4-0. No, he loves Leeds. He's gone 4-0 Leeds, so he really, really isn't fancying Cardiff. John has gone 3-1 to Leeds. Mike really hates Cardiff, and this is strange. He thought he'd back a well side.
Yeah. Who knew?
Mike's gone Leeds United 5, Cardiff 0. Nate has gone 2-1 to Cardiff. Nippon has gone he's gone 2-1 to Leeds, sorry. Nippon's gone 1-0 to Leeds. Shane Downs has gone 1-0. Shane O'Donnell's gone 4-0 to Leeds. Spencer has gone 2-0 to Leeds. Steve Smart has gone 2-0 to Leeds. Craig has gone 2-0 to Leeds. I think I've made an error, and I wish to announce my resignation because I'm the only one that's let my hatred win this one. Told you, bro, has gone 4-0 to Leeds. You're all going to look like idiots when Cardiff win. Yeah, we'll keep doing it. I think I might. Well, a draw would save me a bit, but it's not looking good with you. If you guys could make the predictions and come true, I'd probably be bottom right now with some of the disagreements we're having. But what's been said in the comments? Let me just find where we are. Where are we with them? Scott has gone. See the 5-0 QPR. Yeah, we did. We got there. Scott says, have I missed the M69 derby prediction? No, you've not, mate. You have not. I am keeping you all in suspenders. Don't worry about it. And that was a paid request, the suspender part. Shane's gone 1-0 Southampton. I think he's catching up through the show. Doug's gone 1-1. So if Doug's saying something, I've got hope if he's agreeing with me. Scott has also gone completely for Cardiff on that side. He's gone 3-2 Cardiff. And then Sheffield Wednesday are drawing 1-1 with Southampton, so not having it all their own way. Shane says, "Wow, yeah, we know Shane. Yeah, you definitely said 4-0 to Leeds. Told you he's showing his age here. He said, I've not seen that Leeds game. The dirtiest one I can remember is the Chelsea Tottenham one. The night we won the league, that was nothing compared to what we've seen. Chris, is it? Even myself, I've seen worse than handbags at dawn.
Check it out. Told you. Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah,
I think the title on YouTube is something like the dirtiest game ever, or something like that.
I think it is when you search it up. It actually, it actually may be that.
I think it's as bad as the Uruguay in the World Cup in the 1958. I think it was World Cup. But yeah, it's terrible. But then again, those days, I mean, if that game was played now, you'd literally end up with like 5-a-side.
Oh, you would. The game would get abandoned, wouldn't it?
Yeah, back in the day when it was being played in the 70s, I think they finished with 11-11. But there we go.
They probably did. That was a long time ago. Then that was when it was played. Yeah. Well, I know Scott's mentioned the derby, the massive M69 derby that it is. It's, if you're named after a motorway, derby's huge. We know it's better than the others. But are we there yet? No, we're not. We're at the penultimate game. So I'm keeping you back in them. Get them suspenders back on. The penultimate one. Long time in the making. My uncle's an Ipswich fan. So I've been mocking them for years that it's taken them this long to get here. And typical, we go into it when they're there as well. They are having a tough task. They have the tough task, though, of going to a team whose nickname may suggest crossing one would give you bad luck. It is the Black Cats. It's Sunderland versus Ipswich Town. Chris, it feels like a fixture where these teams have followed each other, because I'm sure at one point when Sunderland dropped down, they were also in that division. Just two notable championship names. Both have been in the Premier League. And surprisingly, Ipswich, I believe, were in it before Sunderland, because they were in the early 90s. Ipswich were in the Premiership, where Sunderland came into the mid to late 90s. Two old boys of the Premier League.
They also had the biggest ever loss until we went up to and played at Southampton.
Yeah, so you're welcome, Ipswich. We saved your blushes.
I like Ipswich. I mean, I'm a lot older than yourself, and I can remember Ipswich just about under Bobby Robson, when they had a couple of Dutch players there, and they were winning won a European. I think it was the Cup Winners' Cup that they won. I have a lot of time for Ipswich. They used to be a well-run club. They've had it lean over the last few years. I was hoping we might have pinched their manager from them, to be honest with you, because Enzo wasn't in my top two for the job. One of them was the guy that ran Ipswich Town, because he'd got the job down there. Sunderland are one of my favourites to go up, though. So I'm going to have to go Sunderland because they've got the experience. So I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland.
You were going 2-1 Sunderland. Well, firstly, I wonder if anybody else...
Steve's going 2-1 Sunderland.
Yeah, I know. That's what I meant as well, mate. I meant that. Just leave me alone. It's been a long day.
Excuse me, you were still in bed at 11 o'clock. That's
why it was a long day. I
finished my morning job by 10.
Yes, you had. You had finished that. And I was exhausted. So we're both even. I'm trying to win any battle I can, really, in this argument here.
You're not going to win the argument. I'm getting up at 6 o'clock every morning.
Well, I was still awake at 4 o'clock this morning.
I tell you what, though, just a sidetrack, Brad, because I was telling Dave earlier how many conversations we've had at 2 and 3 in the morning because neither of us could sleep. But I tell you what, get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, bloody hell, I'm knackered, but normally I'm in bed by now.
I'm keeping you up late, mate. This is not good on a school night for you, is it?
It's no.
But you've gone 2-1 to Sunderland because you like them, but how much do you really like them? Well, you're going to have to find out after I've gone through the first two, but we'll get to your... because you've got Anthony and me alphabetically ahead of you. I know I say Craig's near the end, but you know why. And so it was Craig because I may have forgot he existed. I love you, Craig. Anthony went 3-1 Sunderland. Now, I sat on the fence.
No surprise there.
I know, me and Fences are doing well today. I went 1-1. Same reason I kind of like both teams. I kind of felt a bit harsh because of what happened in that semi-final against them, so I wanted to give them a draw in the first game after that, do what they like. They had some good players. I got some good memories. The 5-3 game, everybody fondly remembers. Camp Collimore's home debut in hat-trick.
I've got the signed picture of Stan Collymore up there holding the ball after that game.
I always say it, don't I, Chris? The man that got away, the one that got away.
I was going to cue you in, but you were ahead of me. He was the one that got away. And a lovely man, though. Lovely man.
Yeah, he was. And you've had him on the show, haven't you? So you can go and check that out after this show. But don't go anywhere yet, because I'm about to tell you what you predicted, because there is you guys in the chat going off with your score predictions or whatever it is you're saying. But, Anthony... You, Chris, didn't back your own convictions as Steve. So you came out your Steve skin and you went, I think you went as you meant to go on because you went for a Desmond. You've gone for a 2-2.
Okay.
You could not separate them. Doug has gone 2-1. Jeff, he also agreed with Doug. He's gone 2-1 to Sunderland. John's gone 2-0 Sunderland. Mike's gone for an absolute ding-donger. He went for 3-2 to Sunderland. There's a familiar pattern occurring here. Yeah. I hope it continues on the last fixture, Chris. I can't remember who it is, but I hope it continues in that vein. Nate, he went 2-1 to Sunderland. I'm feeling a bit sorry for Sunderland here. Nippon joined you, though, Chris. He went for a Desmond. He's gone 2-2. Shane Downs went 3-1 to Sunderland. Shane O'Donnell, he joined you with a draw, but he went 1-1. Spencer, he joined you with the Desmond. So you've got a few fans of loyal followers, mate, with their predictions, even though they gave me these in before you gave me yours. And Steve Smart, he also joined him with a draw. He went 1-1. Whilst Craig, he went 3-1 Sunderland. And Told You Bro, he went for a Desmond. So he has also joined. So you've got a few backers to support. It's not just
Iron Man that told you. I told you.
Oh.
It's looking for it's coming, folks.
Bell end.
I knew it'd happen. I knew it was. I knew we weren't out of the woods yet, folks. Where were we? So Scott in the comments, he's gone Sunderland 3, Ipswich 1. That was a common result for a lot of people in the predictions. Doug, sure, that's not you playing a game of FIFA, Netherlands versus Portugal, I mean. Because Doug, I didn't see that comment there. Sorry, Doug, he put this game I remember was Portugal-Netherlands. 18 cards, 4 reds for Holland, 2 for Portugal. And then he explained Scott, that happened in the 2006 World Cup. I remember that game against Spain where Nigel de Jong went Kung Fu fighting.
Yeah.
The Battle of Nuremberg, they're having a conversation, everything over here. Apologies, Doug was pulling your leg. Okay, so there was a discrepancy going on in between you lot down there. Pipe down, behave, all of you. Get on. So yeah, a lot of support for your prediction. Either majority saying either Sunderland or a draw. So we've got there. We've dragged it out. We've joked around. We've kicked each other out. We've pulled stunts on each other. But now we're down to the serious business because we are there, guys. I know. An hour and a half, and we are finally at the end. It's a miracle, and I thought I had it lined up. You bastard! I didn't have the right video loaded up. Where is it? Cannot believe that we're at the end. I know.
Well, I don't believe it.
Not just any old game. We are at massive live on Sky Sports on a Sunday at 12 o'clock. And this is why Chris says no, Brad, it's BT Sport. And I mocked that up. But we're not just talking any old derby. We are here. The one you've been waiting for. The absolutely massive M69 derby. It is, of course, Leicester City versus Coventry City. Or as I like to one my mum can call them, Cov. Because apparently she doesn't like it. It's Coventry is what I get told by some other words that I won't use. Yeah, my mum being a Cov fan. Was one. Scott says here 3 red cards, 5 yellow cards, and the extra scores late winner. Scott's after a hockey match with the cards he's getting and the sin bins he's handing out. Steve is preying on you here. Are you going to be reverse psychological Steve? Are you going to be that Steve, or are we going to be sensible Steve? I know it sounds ridiculous saying sensible Steve, but Steve can be sensible sometimes.
I think this Coventry on Sunday, cause it could be just like having a belt made of watches, a complete waste of time. Waste time, yes. Okay, so are you going to do it? I started talking slow, so you had time to find it.
I got so used to it, mate. I was a natural at that movement. Then I beat my set new personal best getting to it.
I love the fact I'm just looking here at the press conference. I didn't see the press conference. I haven't seen the press conference, but apparently somebody said, whether it was Jordan Blackwell or not, to Enzo, you've been told it's a derby, and he replied, it's the M69, right? So fair play to him.
You know what? Just because it's Jordan Blackwell that asked him that question and he gave that response, Enzo, you won't watch the show, but
boom.
Yes, exactly.
That to him. Good old Enzo with his response. I love it.
I'm going to say, first of all, I mean, I was looking at odds going up and all that, and most of the bookies have got Leicester, Leeds and Southampton to be the 3 that come back up. Now, I think that's very disrespectful to the majority of teams that are in that division, our division now, the Championship. To me, it's the 6th toughest league in Europe after the 5 biggies. And I think to say that we're going to all come straight back up is... I just think it is disrespectful to the rest of the teams. You know, I know a lot of people are going to look at us and go, God, we're just like Burnley. We came down in a disarray. We got rid of the manager. New managers come in. We're buying all these new players. We've got rid of all the has-beens and the hangers-on. We're just going to storm the division. Well, I don't think we are, to be honest with you. And for me, if we were to not even get in the playoffs, but it would mean that we would come up the following season and storm it then, in a way, I'd sooner do that rather than come up and then come straight back down. Despite being kicked off by YouTube, I mean, I watched Liverpool, and my God, when they got that first goal, I thought, fucking hell, Brendan's back. We just couldn't defend, and when I watched that, I thought, fair play to Liverpool. They just almost like they stepped up again, and then obviously at 3-0 the game was over. And that first 18 minutes, it was very nice football, and we played really well. But tippy-tappy football's not going to do it in this division. So I was really worried how easily we capitulated. We haven't got Cody. He's injured. It looks like Vestergaard's going to be starting a lot of games over Suter. Although, in fairness, again, Enzo has come out and said, look, it's a long season. But, you know, and he didn't look too bad. I've got to be honest with you, he didn't look too bad in some of those games. Yes, he made mistakes, but other players made mistakes. So, let's get off his back. And we know he's a donkey. We've called him a donkey. But donkeys, sometimes, when you get a different rider on them, can sometimes do all right. And, let's give him a chance. New manager, give all these players a clean sheet. He's still part of the team. Will he be here at the end of the transfer? Who knows? But I think he was starting. I'm worried. I really am with this one, having seen what happened. Because I say it was that. How often last season, Brad, I know it's a long answer to this, but how often last season did we see Leicester start really well and then just capitulate?
Yeah, it happened a lot. It did.
It did.
That's
and then we were worse. When Liverpool made 11 or 10 changes, because they didn't change the goalkeeper till later, we played even worse against the B team. So...
yeah, I mean, obviously that mental scarring could be there, but also, it's like I said to you when we discussed this before, we lost 4-0 and 6-4 to the likes of Liverpool and Manchester before, so it was no different, really. I mean, even that, if you remember the Carabao Cup game, we should have never lost that when we were 3-1 up, and we ended up losing it because we just were in that mindset, and it is going to rear its ugly head throughout the season. I tried to keep my bias head off. I always try to. Not that you'll ever see me go for a Leicester defeat, no matter what the situation is. I didn't last season, I don't think. So I don't think I can do that again. But Chris, you've got Steve, so we need a Steve prediction, and you've gone for Steve.
I don't know. We've got Doyle, and that's going to be interesting because he's going to be wearing the better blue. For this game. But Coventry are good. I mean, let's face it, but for one kick, they'd have been in the division above us. I'm going to go for Steve because I can't see us scoring goals because I'm going to go 1-1, but it could even be 0-0.
He starts as he means to go on, ladies and gentlemen. You can take the fence down, but he'll build another one. Chris is sacking the
oh, well.
Yeah, he can.
Your dad taught me everything I know about being a carpenter.
Oh, for God's sake! Why did I start? I never win. I don't know why I go down that route. But how did everybody else get on? How did everybody else? Did anyone else sit on the fence like you? We discussed it on the preview show. You can check it out afterwards, see what we all thought there. Because I was able to at least get one prediction of Craig off that show to add him onto the list. So we'll get to that in a minute. But what did he go for? Well, Anthony, he went. Do you want to change your answer, Chris?
Oh, God, did he?
50-50.
No, because it's Steve, so I don't care.
Steve, you don't care, okay. Because he went 1-1 as well with Anthony.
Right.
I went for a more optimistic game, but I also remember the scorings of clean sheets not being a thing of existence last season. So I went for Leicester to win 3-1. I gave Country a goal. Just because I don't know how they're going to cope with losing their top goal scorer they lost. I know they made a lot of signings because, in fact, I found that out on the preview show. So can they gel quickly enough? It might just be the perfect opponent in a weird sort of way for Leicester to be playing a team that's got a gel to test their new system and get it up to scrap and maybe sneak a win. Probably been a bit more optimistic because it's Leicester and it's Cov. I mean, Mum's a Cov fan and I really can't be asked with her giving me grief until we play them at their place. So I'm hoping we win 3-1 and then I have to pretend not to have the giggles. You haven't sat on the fence though, Chris. You've put your decoy dummy and Steve on the fence for you this season because you have backed Leicester for the win. You have gone 2-1. Doug also agrees with you. He has gone 2-1 to Leicester City. Jeff agrees with me. He considered us conceding, but he's gone 3-1 as well. John and Mike both agreeing with you. They've gone 2-1 to Leicester City as well. Nate, he joined fake Steve on the fence. He went 1-1. Nippon joined me, going 3-1 for Leicester. Shane got very excited but couldn't decide between us. Shane Downs, he's gone for a Desmond. He's ended things on a Desmond. His counterpart, Shane O'Donnell, though, he's backed Leicester to win. He's agreed with you at 2-1. Spencer's agreed with me, and so has Steve Smart. They have both gone 3-1, as did Craig, I believe. He went 3-1. I could be wrong. It's the only one I took down, and you're telling me I can't remember it. No, he joined Steve, fake Steve on the fence with his score. He went 1-1. And told you, bro, last but certainly by no means least, has to end it on an exciting note. He's gone for a 5-goal thriller, giving Leicester City the edge by 3-2.
Wow. We've got to... I just don't want to start the season off like we did last season.
Yeah, I think that's what the impetus is going to be, because
yeah,
you've got to remember that this guy didn't do this to us. He's the one that's here to build on it.
He's also not got the experience of this league. He's not got management experience in England. And let's face it, as Manchester City's number 2, he wasn't there that long.
No, he wasn't.
But look, I would have preferred Thomason from Blackburn or the guy from Ipswich, but this guy's it excites me because of his where he's from.
And the thing is, you can tell the owners are going to give you great faith that they're gonna back him because purely on the basis that his first press interview, I remember he pretty much turned around and said, I'm not going to, plan for, yes, I'd like to get Leicester automatically promoted, but I've also got a long-term plan. He made it sound like if he needed to, what have I done there?
No, I did that. Carry on. Yeah,
right,
you were struggling to get rid of it. So
I forgot the banner for that one was all the way down at the bottom. You got there. Cheers, mate. At least you knew what was stressing me out.
I could see. I felt your pain.
Cheers, mate. It's almost like the master and the apprentice, and that's what's being taught. No, I think the fact that he stated that he build Leicester up, and if it takes 5 years, it takes 5 years. He's going to get us there, and that kind of tells me, he's clearly said that to them in an interview, and they're happy to give him that time if it's necessary. And that's not saying we're going to go suddenly worry about being mid-table. I think Leicester will always be in that contention area with the squad he's kept and what he's building, and. Maybe we will do a Burnley, but I'm all behind giving him time, which is something that certain set of fans didn't give to a certain pet prodigy before. But look how that worked out for them. They challenged for
No, like I said, I know. If we don't go, I mean, look. When we lost that pre-season friendly against Watford, the following season we absolutely stormed that division. We broke, we broke our records. And Dan, you may have got 101 points, but that's nothing because we got 102 that season. Just thought I'd mention that.
We joined the 100 club, so that was more impressive than like Wolves' side that only got 98 points.
Yeah, but it was still less than us, Dan. Still less than us. But no, look, all seriousness. So if that was to be the case again, I would be. I would. If we finished even outside the playoffs, 7th and 8th, obviously I'd be disappointed, but I wouldn't class it as a bad season. But if we finish lower than 8th, then I'm going to be thinking, like, is Enzo the man for us?
Yeah, of course the questions will come after that. I think as long as the results are fairly decent and even if it's towards the end, we're about 8th, but we're a couple of points off the playoffs, I think the majority of fans will be happy with that, showing that the fall down. And then obviously we'll really get a chance to see it. And, if we do storm it, we do storm it. Fair play that, he's managed to convince those to stay around. But we won't find out that until another 9 months of football. We're obviously hoping for a great start. Chris, a bit like this division, the show's had a bit of shock and twist in there, a few bizarre results. We've already seen VAR, which isn't a thing we'll get to see too much. So I thought I'd keep on the memories here.
Go back to blaming the refs,
Yeah, go back to the good old days where we just blame the official. Still with the last score update before we end it here, so still 1-1 between Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton. So there might only be a few early door leaders there. That's a bit of a shock to the system for most. I'm not sure there's many that have got a point from that one. I'll be sure to note that one down properly and check it later. But Chris, thank you very much for being Steve. I know how painful it is to pretend to be somebody like that. Yeah, there's none of that today. That's why he's really on holiday. He said he's on holiday for 9 months, so I don't know how many times I need to step in. But Chris, obviously, it felt good to be doing the first prediction show with you because obviously this is you now going more towards it. I feel like being a shameless host here and doing what you used to do before. When I had before the second channel became what I was running. Tell people where they can find the breakfast show, Chris.
Well, yes, the breakfast show. www.surreyhillsradio.co.uk. That's surreyhillsradio.co.uk. And if you want a request played for any reason, whether it's birthday, anniversary, just email breakfast@surreyhillsradio.co.uk. Did that sound reasonably professional? And don't forget as well.
They've asked me to give you a performance review, so let me just know. Did not perform well with others.
Get lost. But no, can I say
on the screen?
There we go. That's me. Look how big that is. I'm the bigger part of the bigger breakfast. Starting at 7. You see, having to get up at 6 to start at 7 while you're still snoozing. And I said,
I moved you out. Did you not? Oh, you didn't notice because I turned the ballon down, but that did not work out. I planned it.
I spoke to Dave this morning and listened to her, and I said, it's 11 o'clock. Brad will still be in bed. But can I just say, Sunday morning, 10:45, we're back to the main channel for the watch along. And I won't be doing it the way I did it last time. And my apologies again still to Doug. Whether he's talking to me again or not, I don't know. But we'll be back at 10:45, just before the teams are announced for the match against the watch-along for Coventry. So the teams are announced at 11. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff. We are live at 10:45. I would say come on and discuss the team with me, but you'll still be in bed.
I might make an exception on Sunday to get up. I'm waiting for that's the only thing I have the patience to get up for at that time.
We're going to be doing what we did last year, is the fact that we'll have a pre-match show, hopefully if he's up, with me and Brad. He'll then go off and watch the game. He'll come back on at half-time and we'll have a discussion. And then at full-time, we'll have the post-match reaction rather than a
separate show.
Separate show, yes. So it'll all be in one. So Sunday, 10:45, me and Brad waking up in the morning together.
I know it'll be a charm life seeing this mug with still holding on to my coffee with my eyes closed.
I mean, but for me, you see, that's midday for me.
You've been up half the day. You've done your breakfast show. You're on for luncheon at that time.
I know.
Getting your chauffeur bring us through around. But Chris, we couldn't have started it without you, quite literally, because I needed someone to talk to.
On your own, yeah.
I drove myself insane talking this long with just me here, and I'm sure people would have not enjoyed me being here just on my own. I need the company. Don't say that. You can hear me. Sorry, just the voice.
You have that. I have those as well sometimes.
Interesting breaking news over to our Chris Kamara of the channel. Doug says goal 2-1 Southampton. I'm assuming he means that is 2-1 Southampton and not Wednesday have gone 2-1.
Yeah, Trey Adams scored.
Oh, well, Nate, just to really get on there, says 4 a.m. start time for me. See you then. So he'll be joining you in the morning.
You all live in these silly countries, you know.
Yeah, you do. You all choose your start times. But Chris, it's been a joy having you on, even if it was just to fill the shoes. But yeah, guys, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this prediction show. We've got a little bit of things that I will be tweaking, but I wanted to do the first week as plain as possible. So hopefully you've all enjoyed the way it's been done tonight. And as always, Chris, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
No worries. You've made it a pain in the ass as always. I expect nothing less from you, mate. But to those of you that have watched it, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and those of you involved, best of luck in the competition. We will see you bright-eyed, and well, I would say bright-eyed, but I wouldn't even be bushy-tailed. You'll see us again for the watch-along. Until the next show, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him.
Cheerio, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.